All right, so now that I have something in place, I will start speaking about what is the idea, what is it that I'm actually working on. So let me just take that off. Yes. Good. So the idea is that in the previous application, I was teaching to the students the concept of view pagers and also navigation, more specifically with the bottom navigation view, and then being able to move from fragments, fragment transactions, and all these things. Once again, using the navigation component. And then on the first homework, we are going to put those things into practice. And more specifically, we are going to do it in the context of a book application. So it will be an application that will display information about books. Yes, exactly. So, but can you hear me now, William? Can you hear? Because I'm speaking at the moment. Hello, hello, hello. I am speaking at the moment. Okay, good. Okay, good to know. Good to know. Nice. So yeah, so as I was explaining, the context is we're going to apply those topics of navigation component. We're going to apply the topics of the bottom navigation view, which is this little thing down here. We're going to continue working on the aspect of swapping between fragments, and then the context that we're going to learn these things. It's on a book application. So it's an application. We will simulate in an application that it's about books. You're going to retrieve data from with a JSON file having the data. And then we're going to have three tabs. One for the discover. It's going to simulate like you're trying to discover books. A second one, which is going to show the library, which I will be designing now. And then the third one, which is a profile. Again, the whole purpose of this is to learn about this navigation component, which is very, very common, very, very often seen in Android applications. Okay. So again, this is the first one, nothing fancy. We will be showing a list of elements, and we're going to practice using the recycler view. Again, we learned about, or we will be learning about the recycler view in the second module, module 201. So or 202, sorry, module 202. And so this part will be quite straightforward. Now, I'm going to go with the library. Like, the idea of the library is the following. The idea is that we're going to simulate that people can save books. In reality, there's there will be no saving functionality. We will simulate that. And I already created those designs previously. Let me here. No, I don't have it here. Okay, so I'll have to create it from scratch. Okay, no problem. I have it over here then. So the application will look like, let's see. Yes, it would look like this. Okay. So I already have this part. I need to copy this bottom bar and I need to paste it in here. I need to change the colors, of course, because now we are in the library tab. So I'm going to change this text and I'm going to change the tint as well. And the tint of this one will change to monsoon. We have been using this color quite a lot. And then here as well. Good. So this is when we click on the library tab. I'm going to go ahead, and before I even forget, I will be making these things exportable. So I need to make this exportable. Yes. I need to make the library icon exportable, but as SVG instead. Okay. And also this one as an SVG. Yes. I'm wondering because it seems that, yes. No, okay, no, it's okay. It's okay. Yes, okay. Good. And now, yes. And now I need to do the same thing for this icon. I need to make this icon exportable. So let me make sure I didn't miss anything. Yeah, this is okay. This is okay. All right. So I need to make this icon exportable as an SVG. Good. So now that's a little administrative thing I needed to do. Let's begin by creating the cells. So I'm going to put something like this. And yes, then I'm going to be creating different categories. So border, no border. We can say fill. I will take care of that in a minute. Let's go ahead. I need to fix one thing. I don't want to use Metropolis. I want to use Montserrat, which is the one we have been using all along. So I want to do that for all of this. Montserrat. And this one, the same. Montserrat. This one, the same. Montserrat. Montserrat. Which one am I missing? This one, Montserrat. Okay, so I need to fix the height of this. Why is it? No, no, it's okay. Now, why is it? There you go. Is it looking good? I need to fix this one. These ones are okay. Nice. Now I need to fix the other ones too. So this would be Montserrat. I need to fix the other ones basically. If you're wondering why I am picking Montserrat, is because, well, it's a good font. I like it, and makes it easy trying to download it also. So I just need to do this manual work, but hopefully we're gonna be done soon. There you go. Nice. So now that this is done, I need to fix the spacings. So as you can see, the G, it's a bit cut. So I need to fix that. Perfect. So now this is looking good. What else? What else? What else? Now, yeah, now we are ready to do the library. So the idea is, again, the library, it simulates that uh, we can create libraries. Actually, yeah, exactly. So libraries is like different topics. So for example, let me put a text here and let's call this library, I don't know, biography. Biography. And it will be showing books associated to biography, basically. I am going to make this circle a bit smaller, maybe something like this. This text is Montserrat. Let me see how it looks with medium. Montserrat medium. And I'm going to put probably 20 for now. No, 20 might be too much. Or at least regular for now. So for example, it will say this. And below, in a smaller font, let's say 12, it will say the number of books that we have in there. So let's say 5 books. Let me put, yeah, let me put this black so that we can have Montserrat alpha. Okay, it's already black. And then this one will be monsoon, but let me put it as 89, 89, 89. There you have it. So I'm wondering now, okay. So notice that the color is kind of grayed out, but that's because they lowered the alpha. So I'm gonna put the alpha back, but instead I'm gonna use monsoon. And I'm gonna do the same thing here. Let me see how it looks. Yeah, it's okay. So I'm gonna do the same thing here, like this, but instead it will be, since I will be using this a lot, let me copy it. Here you have it. So now I need to do the same thing here. There you go. The same thing here. There you go. Style of text of normal, for example. Does the style is important to do? Yes, it's a good question. So there are two. I have two answers to that question. The answer, one answer is from the education perspective, like in the course. The other answer is from a real life perspective. From an educational course, no, the style is not that important. If, at the end of the day, this is not a styling course. This is a programming course. We're learning Android, so it's not that important. Now, if you wonder, Umberto, why do you spend so much time on the styling? Well, because it is my philosophy that students will be a little bit more motivated to work on the homework and work on the projects if they see that the application that they will be building looks nice, looks beautiful. So it's not because the Android application from a coding perspective will be any different, but because if the application is nicer, if the application looks elegant, if the applications look fun, students might be a bit more motivated to actually work on it. So that is one answer to the question. The other answer is styling important? My second answer is from a industry perspective, absolutely yes. So you have found yourself, William, in the situation where you download an application and the application is terrible. It looks ugly. It looks outdated. What do you do? Or okay, I'm gonna not gonna speak for you, but what do people typically do? They delete the app. They say, let me look for another one because this looks horrible. So in the when you're in a real world context, absolutely you want to make sure that your application has good styling and so on. Also, and because when students go to the industry they will be required to do styling, then that we go back to my first answer, I need to prepare them for that. So I need to put styling here so that they know how to approach the styling once they go to the industry, basically. So yeah, styling is important, I would say. For example, I didn't understand the second question. Style of text of of normal. What do you mean? Could you elaborate a little bit there, William? I'm just checking that I didn't miss any. Okay. All right. All this looks good. Nice. Okay. While you write the question, I will continue here. So this is the idea. So I will be creating a number of this, but I am going to make a mask. So I want this to be a mask. So for example, let me look for some books and then I can start creating stuff. So I'm just going to go online and let me pick some pictures. Yes. Let's see. This one, for example. Let's say copy image, put it here. This is not what we want. So let me make this smaller. And then we're going to do some magic here. I'm going to put this, say here. Going to put this here. And now I'm going to say mask. There you go. So now I can make the image a little bit smaller even. Let's see. Okay, maybe like this. If I move it, something like this. Okay, so it's basically a cover. It's basically a cover, and then we see, and then the way this will look will be as follows. So what is this? All of these three go together. We say group. Where is it saying group? Group selection. So this is category. mm, category. Category one. And then I'm going to copy and paste multiple of this. So like this, like this, like this. Okay. And I will have to add a bit more. Yeah, we put it type normal. So right now it's regular. So maybe is that what you mean? Yeah, exactly. So right now we have it regular, and in Android, when you're doing Android, you can go ahead and download the appropriate style. So maybe you remember, so far in the Android apps, we are using either regular or bold, but we could, of course, download instead the italic or the bold version. But for now, I think it's okay. It looks good with the This is normal, but well, both of them are normal. I just played with the font, with the text color instead. So yeah, I think it's okay. So again, this is the idea. So we're gonna have multiple, and then I need to change. So let's go ahead and let me rename. Let's say this is gonna be called body language. So a category of body language related books. Then I can say business. We have a business category. Then we can say we have, as an example, critical thinking, a critical thinking category. Then let's say we have a fashion category. And let's say we have a history category. Then let's say we have a leadership leadership category. Then let's say we have politics. Yes, and let me add maybe two more to finish the entire thing. This one and this one. Let me copy, let me paste this here. There you go. Let's create a new category. Let's call it, of course, we cannot forget this one, programming. Let's create one last one, and let's call it self-help. As an example. Let's see. Android text style. Yes, we can also do that. That's correct. We can also control from the Android text view. We can do normal, bold, or italic. I believe there's an option for that on the text views. That's correct. But also you can download the font itself. It's able. Actually, we haven't looked at this, but Android, there's a way of putting HTML code into a text view, and then you're able to display the formatting of a text using HTML and stuff like that. But I very rarely use that, to be honest. I rather use it directly from either I download the font and use the font, or as you showed there, we do the text style and so on. Good. So these are the categories. Now I need to look for some pictures. Let's go ahead and let's look for a business book. Business book. Something, let's see, start your business. This one looks good, for example. I'm going to copy image and I'm going to paste it here. Once again, I need to make this significantly smaller. Let's see, here we are. And now I need to do as I did earlier, I need to do the mask. So, this is the only problem I don't like. So now I need to organize my stuff because now everything is category one and I have no idea who is who. There you go. So who is who? Okay, so this is actually the second one. This is actually the first one. One, this goes down. Two, where's number three? This is number three. I like to do this now because otherwise this is going to be a pain later. Where's number four? This is number four. Coño. Ah, there you go. This is number. Yes, this is number four. Which one is number five? This one. Let me put it here. Number five. Where's number six? This is number six. Seven. This is seven. Eight. This is eight. 9 and 10. So I just need to swap. There you go. This is 9. Just make sure everything is okay. Yes. Little stuff that makes the development of this thing significantly easier afterwards. So let's group this thing. Let's call it categories. There you go. So I'm going to make this in the middle. Now we can continue. So number one is biography. That looks good. Number two, I need to change the image. So I'm going to put this here, but I'm going to change it to here. I'm going to remove this, and now we have it here. I'm just going to make this a bit bigger. Oh man, I did the wrong thing. Okay, I'm just going to say here, this one is going to be business. This one is going to be body language. But you know what? I have a better idea. Since we're in Android, this is going to be Android. There you go. So you have your business. Let's look for an Android book now. So Android. This one looks good. So this will be books related to Android. So I'm going to copy and I'm going to paste. Need to make this smaller. I know you might say, oh, this is so tedious. But as I mentioned before, if students, these little details might not mean that much, but to the students, when they are able to see that the application looks nice, the design looks nice, again, it feels more motivating creating an application that looks nice. There you go. So let's keep it like this, for example. Android related books. Sales training. Let me see if I can make this image a bit smaller. Like this. Let's see on this side. Like this. There you go. A little bit better now. Critical thinking. Let's look a book for that. Critical thinking book. Let's put this one. Looks nice. I'm going to copy the image and I'm going to paste. There you go. This goes somewhere along here, something like this. And now I need to put this in category number 4. Okay, I'm going to delete the old one and let's see if I can improve this. I'm going to put this down here. Oh man. Here looks okay. I think this looks good. Yeah, looks good. Fashion. Let's see what we can find. If you have any question, please let me know. Any question related to Android, if you're wondering, okay, Humberto, how are you going to implement this thing in Android? I can tell you in just a second. So I'm going to pick this one. This looks good. So copy image, let's paste it. So in terms of implementation, and this is what I have mentioned in the previous videos or in the lectures. I mentioned that whenever we start developing an Android app, from now on, since we are Android developers, when we see a design, of course, we should appreciate the beauty. I mean, it's always nice to see the work that designers do. But now we also have to ask a question to ourselves, and that is okay, whenever we see a user interface, we need to ask what are the components that are involved in the creation of this particular user interface. So, for example, in here, we're looking at a list. So you think, this must be a recycler view, for example. At the same time, we say, okay, this is one cell of the recycler view. As an example, this is one cell, and it has to have an image view because the image needs to come from somewhere. It has to have an image view, and then we have two text views. And then you ask yourself, okay, how could I organize this? Can I use a linear layout? Can I use a relative layout? Can I use a constraint layout? Well, to be honest, for this one, we could either use a relative layout. It's relatively straightforward, or a constraint layout would work as well. It's quite good, I would say. I think I'm gonna instead of a circle for pictures. Yes, so I already have the rectangle here as an for to show the actual book. This is just again the purpose of library is to have imagine that you have an application where you have um, books, and you categorize your books, and then you create your own libraries, and you say, okay, I'm going to have a category or a library called biography, and in there I'm going to add all the books that I would like to read that are associated to biography. Then you say, I also like business, so I'm going to create a category called business, and inside I'm going to put all the books that are associated to business. The reason why I don't want to put a full book cover is because I don't want to confuse the reader thinking that this information is associated to one book, the one that they see. This is just a random image from any book to express kind of a theme, and that's it. So in here, since this cover is associated to one book and this information here is specifically about that book, I'm okay showing the entire thing. Here, it's just an image. It's just for illustration purposes, basically. So, but yeah, an alternative could be to put the full image. But I'm gonna go with the circle for now. Good. Let's continue. We're almost done. Let's look for a history related book. What could be a good book that looks like history? World history. I mean, more than that. So I'm gonna copy the image. I think this is gonna be a big image. Yes. Let's make it small. All right. Let's put it somewhere here. Something like this. And then this is category number 6. There you go. Let's delete the other picture. And now this, something like this. Let's see. Yeah, this looks good. So again, it's just like a cover. It's not a book cover, it's the cover for the category. And we just picked any random book, we put part of it, not the entire book, so that the user doesn't get confused as of why am I seeing one specific book cover and it says history. Yeah. So yeah, that's the reasoning. Let's look for a leadership book. And if you're wondering what is the motivation behind this particular app, the reason is because I can actually show you very quickly. Let me get my phone. A few years ago, I created an application. The application, I took it down from the Play Store, and the reason for that was because I couldn't keep up with maintenance. I had so many things that I couldn't keep up with maintenance. So basically, I went and I took it down. And you will see in just 1 second how that looks. Let me just put this here for a minute. Let me try it again. Yes, here we are. So this is my phone. Let me just hide one thing. I don't want to receive any weird notifications, not in public. So here's my phone actually. And this application is called Happy Reads. I had this application available on the Play Store. Again, I took it down, and the idea is the following: you can see that I am asking students to create this app that I already created to some extent, and they will create it. So you have here, but I'm making it a bit simpler now. So Happy Reads, which again it used to be in the Play Stores, not anymore. You can see how you were able to scroll like this, and this is like a discover section. At this point, only I have access to the app, and I'm the only one using it. And then if I click like view all, I have access to different books associated to business. And let's say that I find, I don't know, leadership in language. Let's say I find this book interesting. Let me very quickly just move here. Oh, let's say I find this book interesting. I go ahead and I click on it. I can read the title, I can read the author, the pages, I can read a little bit about what the book is about. And then this is what I meant. I say, hey, I like this book. Let me add it to my collection. I click the plus, and then I say, okay, to which collection do you want to add it? By the way, this is the motivation. So I say, okay, this is a business book, so I'm going to add it to business. So now I can go ahead and because by the way, I like to read a lot, and sometimes I have more books than time. So I need to keep track of them. And this app, I created this app exclusively for that. So now I can go ahead and let's say I can go to these are my different categories. And I say, okay, I feel like buying a book related to biography. Okay, I click biography, and these are the books that I have saved so far. And let's say I like this one. So I click here and I say, okay, let's go ahead and let's purchase this book and I will buy it. Let's say that I feel like, okay, let's read a little bit about politics. I look at the books that I saved, and then I can buy it. And then I had this is my library. You could also, like, you see all your books. You can filter. Because the other stuff I forgot to mention, you are able to mark books that you have read. Let me see, probably in self-help, for example, you can see that there are some books that have this check mark, typical check mark when you have read something. So you can go ahead, you leave it pressed, you can remove it, mark as read, mark as favorite, and so on and so forth. So, and then there are not all books were created equal. There are some books that are really, really good. So, for example, in those scenarios, let me go back to self help. I have the option of putting the mark as favorite to show like I really, really like this book. Search bar. Yes, we do have a search bar in here. So the backend, I don't know if this backend is working, but let's say I look for a book, Harry Potter. I don't know. Not my favorite, but let's look for it. I don't know if the backend is actually working because this is connected to a backend. And it is. Okay. So here are all the results for Harry Potter. I say this looks interesting, and then I can save it. I'm not gonna save it because I don't read this type of books. But here's the best feature. You know that each book in the back it has a barcode. Let's say I am in Academy Bookhalden or some book library or sorry bookstore, and I want to search for that book. In the upper right corner, I can click on this picture, and then it asks me to a scan a barcode. So let me get a book here very quickly. Here I have a book, and I go ahead and I scan it, Again, I don't know if the backend is working because there you go. And then it finds the book for me. Let's look another one. Let's say this one. I scan the barcode and it gives me all the information to me. And that is this book, by the way. So yeah, and then I say, hey, I like this book. Let me add it, but I'm going to put it on programming. And now I have added it to the programming category. So yeah, of course, in the homework, going back to here, I'm not going to ask the students to do all of this because, for example, the using the camera, that's a bit more advanced. We haven't looked into it. The this let me show you this type of stuff. I rather don't go that way because it's nesting two-dimensional things. But the category, this perfectly works. If they click on it, it should show all the books. So yeah, they're going to be creating a piece of this, a piece of this. And then we have settings as well. But anyways, that is the app that I created a few years back. And I say, look, it will be nice for my students to create a similar version of it so that they can practice navigation and all that stuff. So what do you think? Did you like that app, William? And there's someone else connected. I don't know who's the other person, but um, any thoughts? Now do you see the whole picture of the app? What's the purpose of the app? Oh, not this. I'm gonna disconnect my phone. I don't want to then accidentally show something. So let's disconnect. Yeah. Anyways, that is the application. That is what we are going to be uh, building, basically. So let's continue. With that in mind, let's continue. We're almost done with this second view. Leadership. I need to look for a book associated to that. Let's say this one looks, no, this one, no. Digital leadership. Why not? Let's copy the image. Let's put it here. Huge picture. So let's make it smaller. Let's make it. Well, in this app, so how many did I save? I have saved 300 books. So I'm in the, hopefully at some point I will be able to read them all. However, the way it works is that that application, actually the information in that application comes from a backend. We're going to be learning about backends in module 202. So my application is connected to a server. I also created the server, and basically from that server I am retrieving all of the information, basically. And that information, that backend gets the information from an API. And yes, it's a lot of work. I mean, I had to create first the Android application so that, so that you could see. And then I had to create the backend, which was another system. And then the Android app connects with the backend. And if you're curious, we are going to be doing that, not creating a backend because that's another course in itself, creating a backend, but we are going to create applications that connect with a backend. So for example, if we go to module 202, we're going to create an application that connects to a backend and retrieves information about news data. We're going to create a backend, an application that retrieves information about the weather, like real weather data, and so on. GitHub, and then recipes. So we are going to be creating these applications. You're going to learn how to create applications that connect with backend systems. So yeah, let's continue. If you say, hey, I would like to also create the backend system itself, it is possible with Kotlin, by the way. Kotlin allows you to do that. There's a system called Ktor. It's built on Kotlin. Again, this is totally outside the scope of Android. This is another field in itself. And with this, you can create backend systems and so on, like websites and things like that. But again, I that is another field. Let's continue. Politics. Let's see what could be. This one looks good. This one looks good. Let's pick this one. copy image. Let's go back here. Let's paste the image, make it smaller. So since there's some white, I'm going to crop this thing. Maybe, yeah, that's better. And now let's make it something like this. Yes. Now, if just to make it better, at least for this first iteration, when the students are working on this application, the data will not come from a backend, at least not now. So, for example, your generation, William, it will not come from a backend. We are also going to learn how to retrieve data locally from a file. And that's exactly what we're going to be giving. I will be giving all this data already in a file, a JSON file, and you need to open that file, read the file, parse the file, and show the data. In the future, I might change it so that future students retrieve the data from a backend. But since I have a lot of work to do, I might not be able to be ready. The backend might not be able to be ready when you guys start working on this. So yeah, maybe for the future. Good. Programming. Let's look for a programming book. This should not be too difficult to find one. Let's do Linux. Why not? Let's do, but why is it so pixelated? Let me look for another one. Python. Yes, this one looks good. For my other students studying Python. Let's put this one. Let's put it somewhere here. Yes. Let's put it somewhere here. Good. So this is category number 9. Let's delete the other picture and let's make this bigger. Something like this. Yeah, this looks good. And last but not least, let's do self-help. Let's find any book associated to that. Let's see. Climb high, jump with a better view. All right, why not? Copy image. And now we put it here. And after this, we are officially done with this. Not with the screen. I'm going to make a little improvement. I'm going to show you in a second. So let me put this here. This is category number 10. Let's move it here. There you go. So there you go. Let's make the image a bit smaller. Ah, this looks good. Why not? There you go. Now, something that we're going to learn in this module, because the whole purpose of this module is to learn about navigation. So I think you were with me, William, when I was designing this screen. Do you remember? And I explained that the topics that we're learning here is view pager, to be able to do this swiping movement, to move from this screen to this screen. You might seen this in some Android applications, iOS as well. And we're going to be learning about fragments and this view. And that is the same concepts that we're going to be applying here. And another thing that we're going to be learning is how to use these little things. This actually has a name, and this is called menu item. So I'm going to simulate that. I'm going to look for an icon. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to say plus. I'm going to get this icon. I'm going to download it. And I'm going to put it here. Where did it go? Ah, here. The only thing I don't like, there's like a shadow that I do not really like. Where is that shadow coming from? If I do Android download, 1 second, please. Let me see. Okay, I'm gonna leave it like that for now. I'm gonna leave it with the shadow. It's okay. I import the other one to the students. Okay, so delete that. Let me see what is the position that I have put here. This is 320. Let me copy it. Let me paste it. And now I can compare. So that is here. This will be the add icon. 321.45. 321.45. Now I can delete this thing. There you go. So I'm going to simulate that if you click on that button, if you click on that add button, we're going to be adding a new category. Actually, you know what? I think I'm going to call this categories. I'm going to call this categories or library. No, library looks okay. Nice. I want to also do a bit of a change. So let's say that for biography, we have 5 books. For business, let's say I have 15 books. For Android, let's say we have 50 books. Why not? For critical thinking, let's say we have 2 books. For fashion, let's say we only have 1 book. Yes, 1 book. For history, let's say we have 21 books. For literature, let's say we have 10 books. For politics, let's say we have 6. For programming, this is important. Let's say we have 24 books. And for self help, let's say we have 3 books, something like this, just to switch up the data a little bit. Nice. So this looks good. This looks nice. Let me just test how would it look when I put what is the code? Wait, not here. What is the code that we put if I change this to this? Too much. Let me also, because this should not be smaller than, what was the size? I think it was, there's a 24. Yeah. So let me make this no smaller than 24. So go here, 24. That's 24. Yes. Oh no, that's too big. Let me make this, I don't remember what's the default size, but I'm gonna put it to 20. I download it to the students. I will see what's the appropriate size. Let me keep it at 18. Nice. So the screen is done. This screen is done. What am I missing? What am I missing? Let's see. Wait, there is something that should not be here. Yes, this should not be here. This should go here. This makes sense now. So up bar, and this should go in the top. This should go in the bottom. Should go in the bottom. Like this. All right. So this is the first screen. This is the library. Let's create the profile. Let's create the profile screen. And after the profile screen, we need to do 2 more things. We need to create the one of the books, and we need to create the book details. So let's do that. I'm going to create a new artboard. Let's put this here. I'm going to copy, paste. I'm going to copy, paste. This thing is going to say profile. There should not be any of this. Now, this should be 89 monsoon. This tint should also be monsoon. Now, what is the color for this one? This thing. So I'm going to copy, paste, profile icon. I'm going to copy and paste. There you go. So this is the profile. What is the pace of the? What is the purpose of the profile? We're going to simulate a little bit that we have a profile. I'm going to, before I forget, I am going to put all my screens so that I know everything that I have to do, and then we can continue. I'm going to look for my guide because I'm going to reuse this one. This is the one I created for my app, as you might remember. So I'm going to copy all of this information, and I'm going to rename this also 203 P1 screen 3 profile. That is that. I'm going to create a new artboard. This is going to go here. This is going to be 203 P1. Actually, this might be P3 now that I think about it. Okay, P1 screen 4, and here will be book details. Yes, and this will look like this. Yeah, this will look like this. Does it look good? This I need to move a bit up. Why is there book details? Let me. Okay. This will go inside book background. That's okay. So I have the continue reading should go here. So if I hide, yes, this is good. Okay, so okay, that's good. The book details should go here. Book cover. Oh yeah, no, I need to put it last. Otherwise, yeah, otherwise it's gonna. Yes, that's correct. What am I missing? Book details. Toolbar is this thing. Status bar. I have it twice. What is this? Okay, I'm gonna delete this. Status bar. That's okay. We have the book. Book details is this part. That's okay. Continue reading about the book. So this goes last. This is the background. Yes, this is the background. If I take this off, exactly. ISBN, release date, pages, the rating, author book. Okay, so this thing is going to go last. And now I can move this a bit to the top. Let's say here. And the continue reading. Something, why can I not see the continue reading? Because I had it before the background, yes. Okay, this goes here. Actually, I don't know what is that? There you go. Now this is good. Okay, so I'm gonna keep it like that and continue reading. It's gonna go a bit to the top here. Continue reading. I'm going to make this color to be the same as this one to keep things consistent and not have too many colors in the style. And you know what I'm going to use? I'm going to use the same thing I did on 202, which was this thing. I'm going to copy this button, and in 203, I'm going to use that. I'm going to put it maybe here. I'm going to delete that. What happens if I put continue reading? Of course, I need to make this a bit bigger. There you go. Yes, I need to also fix the color. Where are we? Container. Control C, container, Control V, something like that. How would this look as black? No, let's keep it white. And this button usually it's a bit longer. There you go. We can begin with something like this. Continue reading. We can begin with something like this. And a bit up as, yeah, you're right, a bit up. Something like this. So a person clicks on a book, they get the book details. I remember. I remember. The reason is because here, let me look for that. Let me look. It should be this one. Let me copy this because this should have a back button. I forgot. A very important back button. That's why I had the toolbar. So status bar, that goes away. Book cover, that's okay. Book details, that's okay. Background, button. Okay, let me put this thing. Now, of course, this icon goes away. This icon goes away. I need transparency. How? Opacity 0. There you go. Here's my back button. Exactly the same thing I will put in Android. When I do this on Android, I will have a toolbar. I will just make it transparent, no menu item, and I will have the back button. And then the back button, I'm gonna make it the back arrow. Sorry, I'm gonna make it white. There you go. So I click on that and I come back to my list of books. Here I have the biography where I can read. Where I can see. If I click biography, I am showing the list of books. So I'm missing that. I'm missing that screen because I'm pretty sure students are going to be confused. So small the button, small the button. Do you mean to make it smaller or that it is small at the moment? Which one do you mean? Well, you're right that I am missing one screen. And that is, I'm going to copy this, paste it here. What I am missing is, let's say that I click programming. Then let me copy this thing. Let me paste it here. Okay, no, I need to copy this one. Paste this one. Here it says, wait. Here I would say programming. This icon will not be here. And this thing will not be here. There you go. So basically, I click on a book. I click on a category, let's say programming, and that should then take me to this view so that I can see all my books associated to programming. I click on one of these books and it takes me to the details. The same as here in Discover, if I click on one of these books, it should take me immediately here. So this screen is for showing the details of a book, and the way there are many ways I could get to this screen, either through here or through here. And just so that I can have a better, I don't like this empty space here. I'm just going to, a ver, I need to modify this. This is screen number 5. This is screen number 4. I'm going to put this on the top. And this is not called Discover. This is category. This will be books in category. Exactly. So these are all the books inside the category. So in book list, I want one more. Put it maybe here. item 7, and there you go. I need to get 2 more images. I need 2 more programming books. Let's use the one that we are reading at the moment, The Passionate Programmer. And who's the author? I forgot. The Passionate Programmer. The author is Chad Fowler. So here I'm going to say Chad Fowler. There you go. And I need the picture. Good. I'm going to copy this image. I'm going to paste that image here. Oh man, didn't copy. Let me get it again. Passionate programmer. Maybe here. Yes, copy image. We paste. Huge picture. We make it small. There you go. And now I'm going to use that picture. So make it something here. And who this goes here. I lost the picture. Oh, here it is. There you go. Yes, there you go. I'm gonna delete this. Okay, there you go. The passionate programmer, so that I can have the effect that it's a list and so on, because before it was empty. Nice, nice. I know what I'm missing as well. Hopefully, yes, Montserrat. Hello, Montserrat, Montserrat. This is all Montserrat. That's good. This is Montserrat. I need to fix that in here. So this is Metropolis. I'm going to go for Montserrat. That's okay. This should be Montserrat. This one should be Montserrat. The same, the same, the same, the same, and the same. Nice. Yes. I need to, before I even continue, so that I don't forget, I need to make all these icons exportable, because otherwise I remember later. I mean, and it's not that it's a problem, but might as well do it now. So ISBN icon, and we say make exportable as ASVG. Release date icon, and let's make exportable as an SVG. Good. Now we have pages icon, make exportable as an SVG. What are we missing? This doesn't need an icon because that is programmatically done. Tools, bottom bar, discover profile will be all active. That will give more to browse around the screens easily. You mean to, could you elaborate? So sorry, I read incorrectly. Activities. There are activities. Well, there's a thing. This in this case, whenever we want to use this component, okay, the short answer is no. Actually, the short answer is no, because if we were to use activities, then it means, and we will learn this in module 203, if we were using activities to implement all this stuff, it means that this has to be an activity, and this activity needs to have the toolbar and needs to have this. This will be another activity, and I need to once again create the toolbar and this bottom navigation bar. Then this will be another activity, and I have to replicate this and this. So you saw how I needed to replicate three things if I wanted to do it via activities. In this case, we're going to have one activity, and that activity is the only one that is going to have this bottom thing as well as the toolbar. And that activity will be the host of fragments. And the only thing that we will do is that as I click discover, I will show the fragment about discover. Then I click library and I will swap the fragment and show the library fragment with the library related data. I click profile and I show the profile data. So actually no, this is an Android thing in which it makes everything like whenever you use that component, actually it is best to do it with fragments because you can reuse, and it's significantly easier. And as you will see in when we reach module 203 and when we create this application in particular, you're going to see that using these components, I mean, they have a learning curve. There are certain things we need to learn. I'm not saying that it's easy, but it makes our life more manageable. I just noticed, by the way, that there is, what font size is this? 16, and this one 20. I don't want that inconsistency, so I'm gonna turn this to 16. So I'm gonna make it 16 so that it is consistent everywhere. Does it answer the question, William, as of why? I mean, we could, don't get me wrong, we could, but let's say that if we are speaking about creating a sustainable, sorry, scalable, maintainable, and readable application, we don't want to do that because we will be repeating a lot of code. We will be uh, having a lot of duplication. And as we have already learned, it is not good to have those things in our app. So, yeah. And especially because the people from Android have created all these components that make our life significantly easier as developers when we want to develop our Android apps. So really, really good. Nice. So let's recap. I click the discover and I see a list of books, kind of a to discover books. I click the library and then I'm able to see all the different categories that I have and the number of books that I have saved in it. If I click profile, then I go to the profile view. Right now it's empty, but it will be populated in a minute. If I click on one of these categories, I will be taken into, once again, a list of books, but these are the list of books that I have saved into that particular category. And if I click any book, I receive the details of the book. Really nice. I think I like it. I'm going to make this text, let's make it 16, 15, 14. 14 looks good. Now I can make this a bit lower, maybe here, it's in the middle almost. I think that's okay for now. For now, it's okay. This is the activity. This is the application. I think it's looking quite nice. I think it's looking quite nice. So what am I missing? What am I missing? I am missing the profile, which I need to work on. And I am also missing, I'm not missing anything else. I'm only missing the profile to assume that you have created an account and blah, 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 and so on. So I'm gonna keep it up to here. Actually, I need to go to a meeting now, but I think that we have done quite a lot. We finished quite a lot from a. I'm switching to a instructor perspective. From an instructor perspective, students are practicing everything. They are practicing the navigation. They are practicing the bottom navigation. They are practicing reading data from a a component. I know what I'm going to put in here. I'm going to be putting some random errors also. So something like this. I'm going to be doing something like this so that they can practice a little bit of that. So let me move that. So let me move these screens here. Because in here, in this space, I'm going to be designing the screens for error related screens. So I'm going to have three of those. Actually, let me put it so that I don't forget later. So I'm just going to say this will be what? Error in discover. That's okay. Let me copy and paste. There you go. Yes. Error in library. And one more. Error in profile. Let's put it here. Error in profile. Yes. And then if I'm in the active programming, I want to go. Well, actually, we could do that. To be honest, we could do that. We will learn in this application, William. We're gonna learn because we as a developer we have the power to do that. What do I mean? We modify the applications based on what we want, and I could, as an example, very quickly, we could very easily just have it here and assume that this back arrow is not there. I could still have the profile, and when I click on it, it takes me to that. So we could do that. I mean, it is possible, but we also need to take into account many other things. For now, I'm gonna. Oh man, sorry. For now, I'm gonna take that off. I might consider it because I also need to take into account. I cannot put the project to be too difficult, because otherwise, students will, yeah, might be too hard. But yeah, that is a good point. We could definitely do that so that if people are in programming and they want to go to profile, they don't need to click the back button. That's correct. And also, I think just to make things more interesting to the students, I'm going to be putting some onboarding. I'm going to put some onboarding as well, again, for the sake of practicing, so that people can feel more comfortable at practicing. Nice. So yeah, I do need to go now. Thank you, William, and thank you everyone who came. Hopefully you liked it. And next time I stream, I will let you guys know on Discord, and you can take a look at some of the designs. And William, thank you for your input. It's always nice to hear the perspective of other people. So thank you all, and I will see you on the next one. Hey,